Now on CoastTV News.
Protest rights revisited. What Ocean View officials are considering today after pushback against protesting restrictions.
Sussex marijuana sales.
It's just something that leads to other things.
We look at the continuing debate in the county after a recent veto by Delaware's governor.
It's another chilly start to our Tuesday. 40s and 50s, tracking increasing clouds, breezy conditions, and the threat of rain. We'll track it coming up.
Supporting fire responders, how Delaware is providing more resources in assisting fire companies in the state.
This is CoastTV News Today.
It is Tuesday, September 9th, 2025. Good morning, I'm Matt Pensick.
And good morning, I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us for our 5 o'clock hour.
And we got the 9th day of the 9th month, and that just means we're moving closer to fall.
We are moving closer to fall. This morning feels like it, and Chris just said it about 15 seconds ago. 40s and 50s and some 40s. I mean, I love fall.
In September, Chris.
I don't want to hear about 40-degree weather,
Yeah, me
Chris.
neither.
No.
Well, at least we don't have any frost yet. Not cold enough for that, but we're seeing some pretty chilly conditions out there, especially away from the beaches. Salisbury right now coming in at 53 degrees, so a nice, pleasant, cool start. And yes, if you're west of Coastal Highway, you can see temperatures now 48 in Redden, 48 Harrington, 51 in Laurel, 49 in Delmarva, milder at the coast. We're at 68 in Rehoboth to 68 in Ocean City. Still dealing with pretty gusty conditions out of the northeast. Sustained wind at 24 Indian River Inlet, 21 Ocean City. You can see winds are pretty calm, getting that radiational cooling with the clear skies. And that's allowing for those temperatures to fall. Gusts right now 29 Indian River Inlet to 21 in Ocean City. It's going to be a rather windy day, especially for the beach communities as we go into the afternoon. We're clear, we're dry, we're keeping our close eye on this coastal low just east of the Carolinas, and this is going to push to the northeast ever so slowly and then eventually spread some moisture into the area, not until late tonight. I think we're dry most of the day, starting off with some sunshine, clouds increase. It's going to be another breezy day. Dangerous risk of rip currents today. High risk if you're venturing out to the beaches today. Damp Wednesday, and then we're going to rally with a late week of sunshine and dry conditions. So we have the cool start today. Temperatures generally in the upper 40s to lower 50s with plenty of sunshine to start. But as I mentioned, clouds will be on the increase throughout the day, and expect mostly cloudy skies by the afternoon. Highs today only reaching the lower 70s. We'll track the showers tonight, and then we'll look at the weekend ahead coming up in that full 7-day forecast. Matt.
All right, we're looking forward to that. Thank you, Chris. In our top story this hour, Ocean View officials set to take another look at its ordinance that puts restrictions on public protests. According to town officials, the original goal is to ensure safety and protection of public property.
The review comes after a letter from the ACLU of Delaware saying those rules are unconstitutional.
Some of the new regulations for protests in Ocean View include permits, fees, a time limitation, and no masks allowed at a protest.
In response to the letter from the ACLU, Ocean View leaders said in a statement to CoastTV that, quote, no aspect of the ordinance was contested by anyone, including the ACLU, end quote. And the ACLU of Delaware says they are hoping for a repeal of the ordinance at today's meeting, which is scheduled for this afternoon at 3 o'clock.
Happening today, when and where we could see the sale of recreational marijuana. It's back up for debate. Regulations are scheduled for discussion at this morning's council meeting. The review comes after state-level pushback on the current rules, which opponents say are too restrictive. Senate Bill 75 attempted to undo Sussex County's ordinance, but was recently vetoed by Delaware Governor Matt Meyer. And in his response, Meyer offered some changes for Sussex County to consider in dealing with an issue that has strong opinions on both sides.
I'm kind of opposed to it just because it's just something that leads to other things.
Anything, cigarettes, tobacco, this here, it's all possible revenue for the county or state.
And Meyer's recommendations include reducing the amount of permits needed, reducing the distance shops would have to be from churches or schools, and changing the required zoning district. The county council meeting is scheduled to begin this morning at 10.
This just in, footage of a massive brush fire that destroyed structures and injured 2 in the East County area of San Diego. The fire burned only 5 acres but destroyed 6 structures and prompted evacuations, according to CAL FIRE. Officials say the blaze started north of Interstate 8 before its forward progress was stopped about 90 minutes later.
In Seaford, the continuing effort to improve traffic flow at some high-volume areas in the city. Tonight, the City Council is expected to hear a 90-day update from Chief of Police Marshall Kraft. Presentation will focus on traffic calming measures put in place on Nylon Boulevard. This is one of several items on the agenda for the 7 p.m. meeting.
New this morning, Delaware firefighters are getting new support from the state. Today, Governor Matt Meyer is expected to sign 2 bills benefiting our first responders. According to state leaders, House Bill 171 gives high school students the chance to earn an elective credit for volunteering with local fire departments. Senate Bill 28 provides $7,000 toward funeral expenses for volunteer firefighters, rescue workers, and auxiliary members.
Tourism is booming on Virginia's Eastern Shore. That's according to new numbers from the Virginia Tourism Corporation. Show visitors spending in Accomack County reached more than $192 million in 2024. Officials say that is a 7% increase from 2023. Tourism supported nearly 1,500 local jobs and brought in almost $12 million in local tax revenue. According to the report across Virginia, visitors' spending hit a record $35.1 billion.
Happening today in Lewis, the Economic, Environment, and Resiliency Commission will gather to discuss shaping its group. According to the agenda, leaders will review the purpose and mission of the committee, a draft mission statement, and proposed ordinance language. The commission is also expected to create a 4th Street Preserve subcommittee. This will all take place at 2 o'clock at the Lewis City Hall.
Tonight in Milford, Delaware State Treasurer Colleen Davis holding a town hall. Davis, who is an alum of Indian River High School, plans to share updates on her office's priorities, including savings programs, financial literacy efforts, and the use of artificial intelligence. Davis says she will also address public concerns about recent federal budget cuts, and this town hall is taking place 6:30 p.m. at the Milford Senior Center. And we are now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. Debate underway after a House committee released an image of a suggestive birthday message that some people claim President Trump sent to sex offender Jeffrey Epstein in 2003. President calling the message a fake and denying having anything to do with it.
NBC's Alice Barr shows us how the president is instead focusing on crime and immigration with a new crackdown beginning in Chicago.
Divided attention in Washington this morning as President Trump keeps his sights on crime and immigration. A first look at a birthday message he allegedly wrote in 2003 to the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein is grabbing headlines. It's a drawing of a woman's torso around an imagined conversation that reads in part, quote, "We have certain things in common, Jeffrey." The White House arguing it's a fake and not the president's signature, echoed by Republican lawmakers.
To me, it's just bogus. The whole thing is bogus right now.
President Trump has denied having anything to do with the letter first reported by the Wall Street Journal in July, prompting him to file a $10 billion defamation lawsuit. The House Oversight Committee released it Monday as part of a trove of subpoenaed Epstein documents.
The president now is walking into his own lie and cover-up.
The president focused instead on his immigration crackdown, with the Department of Homeland Security confirming it's launched a new ICE operation in Chicago, branded Operation Midway Blitz. No sign yet of a threatened National Guard deployment to crack down on crime.
We'd love to go into Chicago and straighten it out.
City and state leaders calling it all unnecessary, though a new Supreme Court ruling may limit their ability to push back. The High Court's conservative majority lifted restrictions on ICE operations in Los Angeles, putting a hold on a lower court ruling that blocked patrols and raids based on broad criteria like speaking Spanish. The White House rejecting critics' allegations of racial profiling, insisting ICE detentions are based on a multitude of factors. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And we're just getting started this morning on CoastTV News Today.
Yeah, coming up, an update to the Dagsboro animal debate, how one man says he'll have to pivot after the town's decision.
Also, Ocean City upgrades expected. We'll tell you what could be in store for one of the town's busiest roadways.
And Canada flight fight continues. The battle taking place right now with that country's largest airline. All that and more as CoastTV News Today continues.
Good Tuesday morning, Delmarva, as we inch ever so closely to the start of fall, just 13 days away. Halloween 52, and then there's Thanksgiving 79 days away. It feels like fall this morning, especially if you're away from the shore communities. 53 in Salisbury, very dry out there with the dew points are in the 40s. You can see we're at 48 Harrington, 53 Seaford, 50 in Laurel. A bit milder at the coast where we're at 68. Winds still pretty good right now, anywhere between sustained 20 to 30 miles an hour out of the northeast. It's going to be a rather windy day, all thanks to a combination of high pressure to our west and this area of low pressure. We've been telling you about that difference in pressure. We get that strong wind off the ocean. Now this shower activity is going to inch ever so closely to the area, but not until tonight. Most of the day is dry but cloudy and cool. Temperatures in the lower 70s as clouds increase throughout the day and into the evening. You get your latest forecast by dialing the First Alert weather phone, sponsored by Broxton Mondalis Federico. We'll have a look at that 7-day forecast here in just a few moments. Elisa.
Thank you, Chris. Happening today in Maryland, a new state police barrack is opening its doors in Worcester County. At 1 p.m., state leaders will gather for the ribbon cutting at the brand new Berlin Barrack V. According to MSP, the new facility on Route 50 includes several upgrades. It will also serve as home to an upgraded forensic science laboratory. Officials say the building replaces the old barrack that first opened back in 1976. And for details on what upgrades the new building will feature, you can head to our website, coasttv.com.
Tidal Health is hosting drive-through flu shot clinics this season. One is at Purdue Stadium in Salisbury. Anyone ages 8 and up are welcome Friday, September 26th from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. These clinics are free. Anyone under the age of 18 must bring a guardian to sign consent, but high-dose senior flu shots will not be offered.
U.S. tariffs hit car companies hard in July. Auto industry consulting firm Anderson Economic Group said car makers paid more than $1.4 billion to import cars and car parts from Canada and Mexico. This comes after a 25% tariff on cars and car parts went into effect in April and May. General Motors, Stellantis, Ford, Tesla, and Hyundai paid nearly $300 million in tariffs on car parts in July.
Roughly 10,000 Air Canada flight attendants overwhelmingly rejected a proposed new contract. The contract was negotiated last month after the workers defied federal orders to return to work. That walkout shut down Canada's main air carrier for 5 days and impacted 500,000 passengers. The airline and union previously agreed that talks on wages would resume with a mediator's help.
Well, we're going to start our Tuesday with sunny skies, but clouds are going to quickly be on the increase throughout the afternoon. 62 by around 8, on our way to highs in the lower 70s. We'll talk about rain, though, moving in tonight for parts of Delmarva, and then we'll look at the rest of the week ahead, coming up in that full 7-day forecast.
Time is 5:17, and we are getting a live look at the clear skies over Ocean City's Isle of Wight Bay. And on the right side of your screen is First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono. And Chris, those clear skies that we're seeing right now, going to get a little cloudier as we move along today.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're going to start off with some sunshine, but quickly cloud up, all thanks to this coastal storm we've been telling you about over the last few days. Going to continue to kind of creep northward, and we'll see that we'll see some shower activity spread in the area later on. We're at 48 right now in Harrington, 51, Laurel 49. We have the clear skies, calm winds away from the coast, and that's really allowing for those temperatures to really tank this morning. But you can see we're still seeing some 26-mile-an-hour sustained winds Indian River Inlet, and the gusts 29 to 30 along the coast. And it's going to be a rather windy day, and also a dangerous risk of rip currents is developing. Small craft advisories up through 6 Wednesday. We have that rip current statement that's due in part to the high risk of rip currents. Waves as high as 3 to 7 feet along the peninsula this afternoon, and then that small craft advisory up for the southern portion of the peninsula up through Thursday morning, and then Bayside that runs through about 5 on Wednesday. So we're free of any precipitation at the moment. We have high pressure in control. It's kind of a battle here. High to the west, and then this area of low pressure to our southeast. Shower activity is going to be moving into our area ever so slowly throughout the day today. I think most of the day is dry. Can't rule out a spotty shower along the coast this afternoon. I think the bulk of the shower activity comes in overnight through Wednesday. So we're cloudy throughout the day today with those increasing clouds. Highs reaching the lower 70s. Maybe we'll squeak out a 74 to 75 away from the coast today. But there you see Futurecast now beginning to push some showers and drizzle into Ocean City, Chicotee later on this afternoon. Again, I think this might be a little aggressive, but I think most of the day is dry. And then by tonight, we begin to see that showers and maybe even a brief downpour kind of push in off the Atlantic. So it's a damp start to our Wednesday. Expect wet streets and roads tomorrow morning, and even a brief again, downpour is possible through tomorrow morning, and then we'll begin to dry out as we go into Wednesday night. And then by Thursday, we clear out pretty nicely and warm up. We're back into the upper 70s to lower around 80 degrees. You see those winds gusting upwards of 30, 35 miles an hour out of the northeast this afternoon. And those winds are going to continue through the evening and even into tomorrow, still seeing some gusts upwards of 20, 30 miles an hour. Then as we go into Thursday, those winds will be subsiding. Rainfall, well, not all that impressed. Again, the highest totals we expect along the coast could see as much as a ½ an inch by Wednesday night. So there's the setup, that area of low pressure moving to the north-northeast. The bulk of this moisture is going to stay off the coast, and then we clear out pretty nicely to rally for some sunshine late in the week. There's the temperature swing. We go from 70 Wednesday to 80 on Thursday, average high 82, and we're going to kind of hover right around that upper 70 to around 80 degree mark. We're looking pretty good for the Walk for Prostate Cancer, Cape Henlopen State Park there Saturday morning. We're looking at temperatures starting off in the 60s, rising into the 70s. We're at 73 this afternoon, breezy 62 with showers developing. 70 for our Wednesday, a soggy day with damp conditions and scattered showers. And there's that nice warming trend by late week, and we stay pretty nice and dry through the weekend.
Thank you, Chris. September is National Preparedness Month, and Sussex County Emergency Management is helping people get ready. Emergency officials say they will be displaying sample emergency kits at the Milton, Greenwood, and South Coastal libraries. These kits will show what essentials you should have on hand in case of a disaster. This includes things like food, water, medications, batteries, a first aid kit, and more.
Happening today, the Ocean City Council plans to review improvement project plans for Baltimore Avenue. This is to move utility lines underground, widen both sidewalks by 5 feet, adding fire hydrants on the east side, and repaving the street from North Division to 15th Street. One man who has lived near Baltimore Avenue for years says he is excited to see these changes.
This project came up a couple years ago. We were invited down to City Hall to see the drawings, and you know, I approve of what they're going to do.
Ocean City officials say the project, still in the early stages, could begin in October of 2027.
With school starting back up, the Delaware Department of Transportation wants to inform you of the alternative flashing warning light system. School buses use this to alert drivers, and officials say yellow flashing lights mean to slow down or prepare to stop. Red flashing lights with an extended stop arm means that children are either boarding the bus or leaving. Everyone on the road must stop. It is against the law to pass a stopped school bus while its lights are flashing and its stop arm is out.
Millions of dollars in grants are set for distribution in Maryland, according to the Maryland Department of Transportation, talking nearly $13 million in federal highway safety grants. They're going to 96 organizations on October 1st. Some of the recipients include police departments in Cambridge, which will receive about $3,000, Berlin with $8,000, and Ocean City with about $73,000. Officials say the money is based on crash data and may be used for traffic safety initiatives.
And there's more to come this morning on CoastTV News Today. An update to the Dagsboro animal debate. We'll tell you what officials decided after one local seeked permission for the animals they said were being used for educational purposes. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. We have an update to a story we brought to you on Monday. It's at Monday night's Dagsboro Town Council meeting. A draft ordinance to modify the town's code was denied. The chapter revolves around the possession of certain animals. The animal in question, ducks. One local man presented this draft in hopes of keeping the 5 ducks he has at his home for educational purposes for his children.
I just think that they may have been a little bit too harsh on the fact that we had them before coming and presenting this, which is disappointing, but you know, it is what it is.
And Wolf says now he'll have to bring the ducks to a family member's farm in Georgetown.
According to the Maryland Department of Natural Resources, copperheads are just one of 2 venomous snakes in Maryland, and you're seeing more of them this time of year. They can grow to be as long as 3 feet long and found in forest, fields, swamps, and dry sandy ridges. They have shovel-shaped heads and chestnut-colored crossbands like the ones on your screen here. The department urges you to watch where you are putting your hands and feet while camping and hiking. While their venom is rarely deadly, you are advised to call poison control if bitten.
Well, that is a good reminder because it's beautiful outside, so people might be hiking, running, biking. Yeah, stay away from those snakes.
A good rule of thumb. You know, Chris, I know there's that movie Snakes on a Plane.
Oh, yeah.
Not sure about snakes on the beach today.
No snakes. I'm good.
No, I don't know about any snakes on the beach today, but there is a dangerous risk of rip currents on the beaches today, so keep that in mind. We're clear, we're cool, we're dry to start our Tuesday here. 68 in Ocean City. Still seeing those breezy, windy conditions along the coast. That's really going to be the main factor here as we go into the afternoon. High risk of rip currents, seas 3 to 5 feet along the Delaware coast as we make our way down to Ocean City, Assateague Island, Chincoteague. Waves as high as 4 to 7 feet with those winds out of the northeast gusting as high as 35 miles an hour. So we start the day with some sunshine. I think if somebody sees an isolated shower today, it's likely Ocean City, Fenwick Island points to the south, coastal areas. As we make our way further to the north, highs today only reaching around 70 with increasing clouds. Better chance of showers rolls in through the overnight. Cambridge, we start off with sunshine with clouds on the increase, as well as Crisfield with highs right around 70 degrees. Our umbrella winner, we have Michael Marth, Millsboro, Delaware, coming in there with your winner of your CoastTV News umbrella. We'll have a look at the rain chances coming in tonight, as well as some warmer conditions later on in the week coming up in that full forecast. Elisa.
And after the break on CoastTV News today, Delaware signs firefighter support. We'll tell you the details of 2 new bills expected to be signed by Governor Matt Meyer.
Also, weed regulations response, what Sussex County officials are expected to review this morning after a veto from Governor Matt Meyer.
And Assembly regulations under review. We'll tell you why Ocean View leaders are revisiting an already approved ordinance at a meeting today. CoastTV News Today will be right back.
Now on CoastTV News.
Safety versus speech. That's what's up for debate in Ocean View as the town could revise its policy on protests.
Briefer reaction after Delaware's governor vetoed a bill that overrode its policy. What to expect today when Sussex County Council takes up the topic of recreational marijuana sales.
It's another chilly start to our Tuesday. 40s and 50s, tracking increasing clouds, breezy conditions, and the threat of rain. We'll track it coming up.
Community commitment, how Delaware is backing members of fire companies and the effort to grow their ranks.
This is CoastTV News Today.
September 9th, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensa. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning. I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, we're about to hit 5:32. And remember last week we had those concerns about another drought? I think after Sunday, maybe tonight and early tomorrow, that it might not be an issue anymore.
And you're talking about the rain, not the tears I cried after the Browns lost.
You're still on that.
No, I know it still hurts.
What is it? Build a bridge
well, my mom
it?
sent me a video on Instagram yesterday of the Bills kicker, you know, with that winning field goal. She's like, "Oh, the Browns should have recruited." I'm like, "Mom,
there's a lot of things the Browns should do, but that is an entirely longer and different conversation."
But the positive is the rain is definitely good for avoiding a drought, absolutely, and also for all of our plants, our pumpkins that are growing this time of year as well, Chris.
That is certainly good news. Yeah, we need the rain. We're not going to see a whole lot of rain out of this system that we're expecting tonight, but every little bit will certainly help. It's quite cool this morning, especially away from the beaches. Look at this. We're in the upper 40s, 48 Harrington, 51 Laurel to 50 in Delmarva, 50 Gumboro, and we are at 68 in Rehoboth with that strong wind coming in off the ocean. We get that radiational cooling. Clear skies, calm winds. That's why those temperatures are tanking pretty well in the western portion of the county. But you can see, still seeing some wind gusts, 31 miles an hour, Indian River Inlet, and 21 in Ocean City. It's going to be a rather windy day along the coast. We are clear of any precipitation at the moment, but here's our area of low pressure. Instead of pushing towards us, the system is actually going to move north-northeast, but in doing so, we're going to see the clouds and eventually some scattered showers develop across the area. So increasing clouds throughout the afternoon, a breezy day, winds gusting as high as 35, high risk of rip currents. We could see an isolated shower southern reaches of the peninsula late this afternoon, but a better chance of showers develops overnight into Wednesday. But the good news is we end the week on a high note with temperatures rebounding back to near 80. So there's the look at your forecast today. Highs generally in the lower 70s with increasing clouds. Can't rule out a stray shower, Ocean City and Chincoteague later on this afternoon. We'll talk more about that extended forecast here in a little bit.
Thank you, Chris. In our top story this half hour, Ocean View officials are set to discuss a new rule that puts restrictions on public protests. According to officials, the goal of the new rule is to promote safety and protection of public property.
Yeah, the review comes after a letter from the ACLU of Delaware saying those rules are unconstitutional.
Some of the new regulations include permits required at least 36 hours in advance for groups larger than 10, fees up to $150 to apply for permit demonstrations, and those are limited from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and no masks are allowed at the protests.
And the ACLU of Delaware says it is, quote, unconstitutional, unreasonable time, place, and manner restrictions upon community organizers and protesters. Ocean View Town Council is meeting this afternoon at 3.
And here's what the Ocean View mayor told us. The purpose of today's meeting is to ensure no one's First Amendment rights are inadvertently impacted by our ordinance. The ACLU of Delaware says they are hoping for a repeal of the ordinance at today's meeting.
Happening today, when and where we could see the sale of recreational marijuana in Sussex County. That's back up for debate. Regulations are scheduled for discussion at this morning's council meeting at 10.
The review comes after state-level pushback on current rules, which opponents say are too restrictive. Senate Bill 75 attempted to undo Sussex County's ordinance, but was recently vetoed by Delaware Governor Matt Meyer.
In his response, Meyer offered some changes for Sussex County to consider in dealing with an issue that has strong opinions on both sides.
Meyer's recommendations include reducing the amount of permits needed, reducing the distance shops would have to be from churches or schools, and changing the required zoning district. Happening across Delmarva, tourism is booming on Virginia's Eastern Shore. New numbers from the Virginia Tourism Corporation show visitor spending in Accomack County reached more than $192 million in 2024. Officials say that's a 7% increase from 2023. Tourism supported nearly 1,500 local jobs and brought in almost $12 million in local tax revenue.
In Delaware, firefighters are getting new support from the state. Today, Governor Matt Meyer is expected to sign 2 bills benefiting our first responders. According to state officials, House Bill 171 gives high school students the chance to learn an elective credit by volunteering with local fire departments. And then Senate Bill 28 provides $7,000 toward funeral expenses for volunteer firefighters, rescue workers, and auxiliary members.
This just in, America's relationship with ally South Korea could be in jeopardy. That's after Immigration and Customs Enforcement detained hundreds of South Koreans at a Hyundai LG facility in Georgia.
Amy Kiley shows us the diplomatic efforts underway today.
You'd be foolish not to think about this.
South Korea's top diplomat is in the U.S. today at a tense moment for relations between the countries. Foreign Affairs Minister Cho Hyun is visiting Washington as about 300 South Korean nationals are detained in Georgia. That's where ICE and other law enforcement raided a Hyundai plant last week. Korean Air says it could start flying home the detainees tomorrow.
ICE was doing right because they were here illegally.
An attorney for 2 of the detainees argues that's not the case for everyone ICE arrested.
Under the ESTA business visitor or the B1 business visitor program, you can come in and go to business meetings. You can do engineering oversight. You can do after sales service and installation, which is what these people were doing in the United States.
The raid is causing outrage in South Korea. Its businesses are investing billions in the U.S., much at the behest of President Donald Trump.
Obviously, they're going to have huge hesitation about investing in the U.S. if your employees are going to be treated like common criminals.
The Georgia plant is supposed to open next year as Hyundai's first U.S. facility dedicated to electric vehicles and batteries. Trump acknowledges setting it up requires workers with specialized skills.
We do have to work something out where we bring in experts so that our people can be trained so that they can do it themselves.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
We are now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. Debate is underway after a House committee released an image of a suggestive birthday message that President Trump allegedly sent to sex offender Jeffrey Epstein in 2003. The president is calling the message a fake and denying having anything to do with it. It's a drawing of a woman's torso around an imagined conversation that reads in part, quote, "We have certain things in common, Jeffrey." The White House arguing it's a fake and not his signature, echoed by Republican lawmakers.
To me, it's just bogus. The whole thing is bogus right now.
The president now is walking into his own lie and cover-up.
The House Oversight Committee released the alleged image on Monday as a part of a trove of subpoenaed Epstein documents.
And we have a lot more news to get to. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, safety solutions underway. We'll tell you about possible changes in Dover after concerns from locals.
Also, Delmarva field hockey focused with lots of early season action on Monday.
And charity event as construction ends. We'll tell you how you can preview the new Millsboro bypass before it officially opens this month. Stay with us on CoastTV News Today.
Up here Tuesday morning is off to a great start as we take a live look into Salisbury. It is cool, it is dry out there this morning. We're at 53 degrees. Winds pretty calm away from the coast, and that's allowing for us to fall into the upper 40s to lower 50s. So a nice cool start to our day, but you can see closer to the coast, we're in the 60s, 68 in Bethany, 68 in Ocean City, and that's thanks to that persistent northeast wind flow right off the ocean, 30-mile-an-hour gusts there, Indian River Inlet. Still under the influence of high pressure, but as this area of low pressure pushes northeastward, we're going to begin to see some of these showers make their way towards the coast. Can't rule out an isolated shower late this afternoon through portions of Ocean City, but I think most of the day we are dry, 73 degrees with increasing clouds. We'll talk more about some scattered showers rolling in tonight for a good bit of the area. We'll talk more about that coming up a little bit later on. Elisa.
Thank you, Chris. This Saturday, the public is invited to experience the new North Millsboro bypass in a fun way. Before it opens to drivers, DelDOT is hosting a charity 5K. Whether you want to run or walk, that's your choice. The almost 3-mile path is highlighted on your screen right now. Officials say proceeds will benefit the B+ Foundation that supports children with cancer.
After the 5K, the road is open to bicyclists. The North Millsboro bypass officially opens to traffic on September 22nd. Here's what it looked like on Monday. The new alignment connects 113 and Route 24. DelDOT says it intends to relieve a traffic bottleneck in the downtown area. The new bypass even includes a separate multi-use trail.
The season is on and the flock is flying on 100.9 Classic Country. From the first snap to the final whistle, hear Baltimore Ravens games right here on Delmarva. Every drive, every touchdown, all season long on 100.9 Classic Country, your home for Ravens football.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Field hockey has always been good on the peninsula, and that's been on full display early in the season. So let's take a look at some Bayside action. Parkside faced a difficult task yesterday, beating Stephen Decatur, a team that made it to the second round of the state tournament last year. And unsurprisingly, the Seahawks controlled possession early. Bailey Griffin inserts on the APC. Jill Burton ends up with the ball, works towards the goal. Point blank, that's too easy. Decatur up 1-0 midway through the first quarter. The Rams don't want to let this game get out of hand, though. Ava Holland follows her own shot and just pokes in the goal. 1-1 tie with about a minute left in the first quarter. Stays tied until the second half, and right after the break, Stephen Decatur threatens, cross deflected out, long shot is kicked away. Get it out of there, clear it. No, Morgan Mikulski finishes the job. Seahawks up 2-1, and here comes Decatur's offense. Burton moves with pace, precise pass to Marley Rill, who finishes the job. 3-1 Hawks mid of the third quarter, and the last goal was on a change of possession. Fast break, how about patient passing? Great teamwork. Rill gets the assist, Mikulski scores. The lead goes up to 4-1. The final score ended up being 6-1, a dominant win for Stephen Decatur. That's it for sports. Have a great day, folks.
Coming up tonight on DSN, 7:30, it's Pro Foot Volleyball. It's episode 2. At 8:30, we have girls volleyball. Cape Henlopen hosting Delmarva Christian. And at 10:30, catch the final score. On DSN Plus, along with that Cape Delmarva Christian game, here are the app exclusives. At 4, Bennett hosts Easton in girls soccer. Milford hosts St. Peter and Paul in field hockey. At 5, it is high school girls volleyball when Easton visits Parkside. And at 6:30, more volleyball when Wilmington Christian faces Cesar Rodney.
Mystery and adventure in today's entertainment news. Here's David Daniel with the Hollywood Minute.
Man gives a sermon. He then, in plain sight of everyone, walks into a sealed concrete box. And 30 seconds later, that man is lying dead. A classic impossible crime.
Daniel Craig's Benoit Blanc is back, helping Josh O'Connor solve his Monsignor's murder in the official teaser for Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. Kerry Washington, Jeremy Renner, Andrew Scott, Glenn Close, and Kaylee Spaney are among the suspects this time. Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery debuts in select theaters November 26th and on Netflix December 12th.
The Rogue Boys are heading straight towards the mums and cubs. And this is exactly what we don't want to happen. This is really, really dangerous.
Big Cats 24/7 is back. Elite wildlife filmmakers return to Botswana's Okavango Delta, following lions, leopards, and cheetahs around the clock for months in one of Africa's last wildernesses. Season 2 of Big Cats 24/7 debuts Wednesday on PBS, PBS.org, and the PBS app. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
If you're having a rough week, you can cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from Coast TV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. You can sign up right now for free at coasttv.com and get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday.
Well, it's a chilly start to our Tuesday. We begin the day with sunshine, and then the clouds roll in this afternoon. Still going to be quite gusty along the coast. We'll talk about how long the winds are going to continue along the coast, and when some rain moves in, we'll talk all about it coming up in that full 7-day forecast when Coast TV News Today continues.
The time is now 5:49, and we are taking a live look outside at Salisbury this morning. And Chris, I actually don't think I've ever seen cars drive. There's another car in the Salisbury camera. Usually whenever we look at it at this time, it's pretty quiet out there, but people might be heading to work. But you were talking in the break about some rain that's on the way. I know rain is a good thing to avoid a drought, but I don't really want rain.
Yeah, it's been a really dry stretch of weather we've had, and we're going to see some showers, maybe an isolated shower late this afternoon at the coast, but a good chance of those showers rolling in tonight through our Wednesday. And yes, it's a chilly start. Check out these temperatures. Western portions of the county through Salisbury, 53 there. We're at 49 Harrington. Milder at the coast. We're at 58 Long Neck to 68 in Bethany Beach. It's been a windy afternoon. It was a windy afternoon yesterday, and we're going to continue to see that onshore wind flow here along the coast. Sustained winds 15 to 25, gusts upwards of 35 this afternoon. Current wind gusts 29 there in Indian River Inlet. So we have small craft advisories up for the Delaware coast. Those are up through 6 o'clock Wednesday. We have that rip current statement, which pretty much means a high risk of rip currents for the entire Delmarva coast. So keep that in mind. Small craft advisory up through 6 a.m. Thursday there from Assateague Island, and then in the Bayside that goes up through about 5 o'clock. Could see winds as high as 35 miles an hour. No rain at the moment. Clear skies. We're still under the influence of high pressure, but we're keeping an eye on this area of low pressure off the Carolinas. It's going to push northeastward, and in doing so, it's going to spread some moisture into the area beginning tonight. And you see those rain chances ramp up tonight into Wednesday, and then we enter a very dry period late week through the weekend. So clouds will be on the increase today after some sunny skies. Winds out of the northeast sustained 15 to 25, gusts to 30. Temperatures generally in the lower 70s. Can't rule out a late isolated shower late this afternoon, especially from Bethany, Ocean City down through Chincoteague. I think most of the area does stay dry, but you can see Futurecast trying to bring some showers into Ocean City late this afternoon in off the ocean, but a better chance comes in overnight through tomorrow morning, maybe even a brief downpour into your Wednesday morning. But we see those spotty showers kind of rotating in off the Atlantic through Wednesday afternoon, and then we dry things out. And we warm up pretty nicely into our Thursday with highs right around 80. There's those wind gusts upwards of 35 this afternoon, and still kicking into tonight, 30, 35. Then as we go into tomorrow, that northeast wind 20 to 30. And then as we go into Thursday, we'll see those winds subside as we go into the day. Rainfall totals could see upwards of a ½ an inch, maybe some isolated pockets a little higher as we go into Wednesday, but we clear out just in time for the weekend, looking pretty nice. And there's that temperature trend, average high 82, and we're going to kind of hover right around upper 70s to near 80 by the end of the week. And looking really nice for the Walk for Prostate Cancer Saturday morning. Hope you'll join us there. Cape Henlopen and State Park looking pretty nice with those conditions. 73 today, shower, especially at the coast. We're at 62 with showers developing. Isolated downpour possible. 70 for your Wednesday. A damp midweek, but we dry out pretty nicely to end the weekend into the weekend.
Thank you, Chris. Metal wands and increased police presence may soon be coming to Dover City Council and Committee of the Whole meetings. The newly formed Security Ad Hoc Committee met last week to discuss potential safety improvements after concerns were raised. The committee is moving forward with a proposal for one Dover police officer equipped with a handheld metal detector at bi-weekly meetings. Supporters say it could make meetings safer, while opponents question its effectiveness. The measure would cost about $11,000 a year. Leaders say other options are still being considered.
We just ask that the public be patient with us while we figure out the details, and that they recognize that this is an inherent benefit for public safety.
More info on this proposal will be shared once the council and locals have met at City Hall.
While it may not have been the billion-dollar jackpot, there were some big lottery winners on Delmarva. One Salisbury player won $50,000 in a lightning cash ticket they bought at Royal Farms, and one lottery player in Berlin found themselves with a $12,000 ticket from Shorestop.
The time is now 5:53, and we are going to check in with our coastal pet of the day.
Today's coastal pets of the day this hour, actually two furry friends. That is such an adorable picture right there. On your screen, we have Milton and Molly. They're a Bernese Mountain Dog and an Australian Shepherd. Milton and Molly were submitted to us by Karen in Milford.
And we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us photos and tell us what makes them so special. You can take a look at your screen.
Scan the QR code at the top of your screen to submit your furry friends to Coast TV News, or they don't necessarily have to have fur, but then you can watch weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
It is 5:56, and we are going to take another look at your forecast before you head out the door.
Yeah, we're expecting some clouds to roll in later today, Chris.
Yeah, it's all ahead of that coastal storm we've been telling you about. Sunshine to start, a chilly start. In fact, temperatures right around 66 by around 9. And yes, those clouds are going to be on the increase. It's going to be another breezy day, especially at the beaches. Can't rule out an isolated shower along the coast this afternoon, but a better chance of those scattered showers rolls in tonight. A damp, soggy Wednesday with a lot of clouds, a continued wind, high risk of rip currents both Tuesday and Wednesday. But the good news is we end the week on a pretty good note. 80 by Thursday, mostly sunny skies Friday, and we see a very nice weekend ahead with highs right around 80.
Thank you, Chris. And coming up on our next hour, weed policy after veto. While Delaware's governor backed up Sussex County's authority, the recommendations he is making for marijuana regulations. That and more when we continue with Coast TV News Today.